Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is week 16. If you already missed out, there's been 3 games, 6 teams have played. You are already in playoffs. Hopefully, you're ready to go. If not, I'm here to answer all of your questions because luckily, there is no real issues with weather this week. There are players that are playing that we weren't expecting, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this moves on. So, if you guys have questions, please ask them, and we'll get this started. So, alrighty. C Plank, glad you can make it. Higgins or Sutton. This is interesting. I think it's a lot safer to roll with Sutton. However, I have Higgins ranked higher because if he does play, I just think the opportunities are there that in such a way that it's hard to get away from him. The issue really comes down to whether or not you trust Burrow. That's my big issue right now. So I literally have Higgins and Sutton back to back. It just is so terrifying to try and pick that, unfortunately. So, what's up, Glitchy? Pistachio, need a running back plus a flex. Chubb, Jordan, DeMarcado, Coker, Slayton, and Hull. So currently, it looks like everything I've seen. Haven't seen anything definitive on Woody Marks not playing. So if he's playing, you can't play any of the other players, unfortunately. So it's tough. If he is out, I'd go Jordan because I think there's a lot more upside. Chubb's been dealing with injury. I know he's active, but we'll see how that ends up working out. And then for your flex, I'm going to go with Coker. I really like the matchup. I like how he's been being used. It's very close. So Glitchy is easy. Just pick Ibuka. He has more upside. It makes it easy for you. Jones is just a safe play. So if you're not worried about getting a 0, play Ibuka. The upside's there. The opportunity should be there because this Bucks team is not good. It's just this will be very interesting to see how it works out. I'm more worried about Baker, but we'll see how this all ends up moving forward. So, Sky Point question: Drake London or Michael Wilson? With MHJ likely playing, I'm going to go London. I think it's a lot safer play. And I have already moved him into my wide receiver 10 spot, so it makes it pretty easy. Pistachio, Henderson, or Jones? I'm pretty sure that's Henderson. Yeah. I have Henderson as my running back 11. Shazad, Wilson, or Ty Warren? Is this Michael Wilson? If it's Michael Wilson, I'm still going to play Michael Wilson over Tyler. Don't know what other Wilsons it could be, but as of now, that's where I'm rolling. Matthew Brain, Bowers or Carter, full PPR. Opponent has Brissett. Again, I think I still have Bowers rated higher. He's higher in my flex. He's still my tight end. I think he's 3. He's my tight end 3. The opportunity should be there. And actually, the Texans don't really do well against the tight end position. Also helps that Stingley's likely out, boosting him up even more. So I'm still going to go Bowers. I think the opportunity being there offers a lot more upside than what Carter is. Because, again, with Carter, the issue that you'll end up having is that DeMarcado is also active. So we're unsure of how much Carter's going to be used. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that works out. BTFU, all good. Happy to answer all of them. I'll get through it eventually. Got a few questions. The first one is tight end. Pitts or Gadsden? Even with London being back, I was only able to move Pitts down to 11. I still have Gadsden at 15. So still going to go Pitts. I know the worry is definitely there because, again, with London back, it's a completely different ball game. All right, Pistachio, need a QB and wide receiver in flex. So I'm picking 3. Well, I think I would play it safe, and I'm going to go with Stroud, Wilson, and do I want I'm probably just going to play safe and go Estimate still. I really think that ends up being a safe play, gives you solid numbers all the way around. The issue, again, we aren't sure on Estimate if he's getting the start or if it's going to be Hull. I would expect Estimate to see more passing work, but it's going to be iffy to see how that ends up working out. All right, C Plank. Herbert or May? It's going to be May. Okay, I couldn't even see it. So, Brett, goal is always to help. I mean, that's the whole reason for the show. I literally made it to try and get people's questions answered and move on and hopefully get you into the playoffs. And if you're here, I'm glad you made it. And if it's just for fun, I appreciate you even more because it's really difficult to show up when you're out. Hopefully your league is giving consolidation prizes. So, all right, RPSD, Michael Wilson or Buka. This is actually really close. I still think I have Wilson higher because while MHJ is back, I still think there's opportunity for him. Well, maybe I don't. Where the heck did I put Wilson? Oh, I haven't changed it around. Okay, yeah, because even then, I still have Wilson at 18, and I moved Marvin Harrison to 11. So with him back, I mean, Marvin Harrison was the clear target. However, you with how much, I can't think of a stinking name now. Brissett's been throwing. It's just so hard to get away from the pass catchers in Arizona. So much rather roll with Wilson if I can. Eduardo, Higgins, or Olave in PPR. I still have Olave higher. I just think he's a lot safer. And while I like Higgins, I'm being tentative about it because it's 2 weeks. It's a concussion. I don't really want to trust it if I don't have to. And also with Burrow being so emo, I don't want to risk my playoffs with something that, while he is an asset for you, right now, it's not something you want to play. Iggy need defense help today. Okay. Dolphins, Bucks, Jags, Falcons, Chargers, Titans. I have the Jags the highest at 10. So I would go Jags, followed by the Bucks, followed by the Chargers, followed by the Titans. So Anthony, Genty, Jones, Gainwell, which two am I starting? Okay. That's interesting. Again, I know I'm one of the odd men out when it comes to this. I'm playing Gainwell more likely than not. He's a solid RB2 for me. And based on these other options, the next one is going to be well, maybe he's not. Where the heck is I have Genty one spot ahead of Jones. So it's really a coin toss between those two. And then Estime is behind that because, again, I'm not sure if he's getting the full job. If I knew he would have that job, it'd probably be Estime. But since I don't know, I'm going to go Genty because I know he will get the full job. And with it being PPR, I want that upside. All right, C Plank, Higgins, Estime, Carter, and Flex. It's going to be Higgins. Assuming that's T. Higgins, you have to play him, unfortunately, based on the other options. Dora Dusail, Dart or Herbert. I still have Dart higher. However, if you are behind and you need upside, I'm fine to play Herbert because I do think that game's going to be a little more competitive. Dart is having some issues because they do have some weather problems where it's going to be windy, making his deep ball more treacherous than normal. I'm a little iffy on that. So if you want the upside, I'd much rather go Herbert and then Henry or Waller. I'm going to go Waller and then Jennings or Marks. Since it's PPR, I'm going to go Jennings. I have Jennings pretty solidly as a wide receiver 2, barely. He's just on the fringe of wide receiver 1. I have him as my wide receiver 15 currently, so much rather play that if I can. Warren or Woody Marks? I'm going to play Marks. Phil bonus. Pick 2, Wilson, Henderson, Wandale, or Woody. That's interesting. I think it's going to be Wilson, then Henderson. Yep. It's going to be Wilson and Henderson. I have Woody just behind him because he's still dealing with injury, which always makes me iffy. And then Wandale is lower because his average depth of target has gone way down. And while that should help him this game because it should be windy, it's still not something I want to trust because it's a tougher matchup in the secondary. Asian Aaron. Okay, Etienne or Waddle. I still have Etienne as my running back 7, while Waddle is quite a bit lower. Even in flex rankings, I have him at wide receiver 18. So it's close, but I still think I'm going to go with what's safer here. TF, starting Etienne and 11 for sure. Good. Need a second wide receiver and a second RB and a flex. So I'm picking 3. All right. It's going to be London. You have to have a running back. So I don't know who Harry is. Harry Henderson, maybe. Okay, it's going to be Tracy. I like the idea of estimate, but I can't bring myself to do it. So it's going to be London, Tracy, and then I'm going to go Sutton to play it safe. I like the idea of Lad because this is a game that they should be able to throw. However, I'm just so nervous with how that team's been playing, that they've really relied on the run and the ability of Herbert to get out of the pocket and then putting it a lot of the stress on the defense. So making it tough. Hope that helps. Big trust, Strange or Estime? Again, I think you go with what's safer here, and I'm going to go with Estime, who I think is going to see a majority of the work. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that works out. BTFU, Evans, Sutton, BTJ, or pitch. It's going to be Evans. You can't get away from Evans right now. Even in those limited snaps last week, he dominated. It was who Baker was looking at. So hard to get away from. B-Rad, BTJ, or Diggs. I literally have these guys within 6 spots of each other, but I do have Diggs higher. So going Diggs. Man, it's scary, though. I understand why you're asking this question. I do think BTJ sees more Sertan, which is also why I'm kind of lowering him a little bit. Sky Point, last one. Okay. Myers or Wilson? Merry Christmas and glad to help. Okay. I have Myers at 16 and I have Wilson at 19. So they're relatively close. I do think Myers is safer because they are going to have to throw to keep up in this game. And so I really hope that's the option. However, if you are chasing upside, I do think that's really Wilson. Image J has been just fine when he's been out there. He's been taking all the targets and being the one who sees it. But trusting that, I'd much rather go with what I know. And what I've seen out of Wilson for that upside potential. Because you're not going to get a 35 out of Myers. You could get a 30 out of Wilson. So, TF, happy holidays. Glad to help. Good luck. Sven, glad you made it. Estimate or Ferguson. Chargers are actually really bad against the tight end, so I'm going to go Ferguson here. And while, again, I keep bringing it up, Estimate is potentially in a split with Hull. We don't know what that's going to look like, who's going to be the lead back. I mean, and Hill is also an option, so it's going to be very iffy at best. RBSD, will you rank these? Need to sit 1. Okay, so if I'm sitting one of these, it's probably going to be Tet. Okay, I have Olave at 10. I have Wilson at 19. I have Jennings at 15. Yeah, so it's going to be Tet by 1 spot. So I don't love the matchup for him, but I completely understand if you want to sit at this point. Wilson would be the one that I would sit next to him. Happy holidays, Sven. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. At that point, then I would be playing Harvey over Estime. Or that was the question, right? Harvey over... Yeah. Or Harvey over Tracy. I'd play Harvey over Tracy. Looks like he's playing, Daniel. Tony, good morning. Brissett, Burrows, or Herbert? This really comes down to what you need. I would be most willing to trust Brissett. I have Burrow in that same kind of range because I know what he could be, and with Higgins back, it's very difficult for me to get away from him. However, I just have, I currently have him as quarterback 10 because I do know the upside and the matchup, which makes it a little tougher. But he has the upside. I mean, Brissett is your safe play. I don't think you're going to go wrong. I don't think he's going to hurt you, while Burrows could. And I like the idea of Herbert, but again, he's the most pressured quarterback, and it continues to be that way. It's just so difficult to get away from. Anthony, Jones or Worthy? Really depends what we need. I would be more willing to trust Jones. I think he's a lot safer. I'm not worried about the whether he's going to see the targets, while I am more worried about Worthy seeing targets. I don't know who Minshew's going to throw to. I have a pretty good guess that Kelsey's going to be the big benefactor, but until I see it, it's difficult to trust. So, Brett, all right, let's see. Need at least one running back. Okay, so if you only need one running back, it's going to be Harvey, and then you need to start 3. It's all good. Then I'm going to go with Robinson, Myers. Then do you want to go upside? I think I go upside and go with Mitchell then. So given the opportunity, it'd be Myers, Harvey, Wandale, Mitchell. Oh wait. So it's actually only 3. So it's Myers, Harvey, and Wandale. Makes it easy. BTFU, also 10-team, Purdy, Burrow, and waivers Herbert. So I still have Purdy the highest. However, I do like Brissett. But I don't think you're switching it out. I think you're just fine with playing Purdy. Josh Conrad, welcome. Pick 2, Wilson, Sutton, Jettas, Waddle. I'm pretty sure it's Waddle and Wilson. There's Waddle. Yeah, I have Waddle and Wilson both ahead of Sutton. So those are the 2 I'm going with. And then Warren or Theo. Go Warren. Tony, Hampton, Igbuka, or Judkins. Again, depends what you need. I think Igbuka is my upside play. However, if you want to play it a little safer, it's Judkins. I mean, I don't think he's going to kill you, especially with Sampson out. He should see a decent amount of work. This isn't a horrible matchup for him. So I'm more willing to roll that out. RPSD, Saints or Chiefs D. I still have the Saints higher. Just a lot of risk involved, unfortunately. So, C Plank, where do you start Carter over Estimate or Henry? That's a good question. I think I have Carter and Estimate right next to each other. Yeah, I have Carter and Estimate back to back. So if you wanted to play Carter, that's fine. It's struggle for me to trust it because DeMarcado's been there, and when he has, it's been iffy, and that always makes me more nervous. So Chip Douglas, 1 wide receiver and a flex. All right, I'm going to go with Marks and Myers. Makes it quick and easy. Big trust, Lamar or Dart. I'm still rolling Lamar. Again, the win makes me nervous, and Dart's actually has a tough secondary to go up against. I don't think Dart is going to hurt you, which is also why he's still a top 10 quarterback for me. Daniel, Dowdle or Etienne? It's Etienne. I'm not messing with that. So, Daniel Ferguson, Higgins or Amari and Hampton. Really depends on what you need here. If you're looking for the upside, I'd much rather roll Hampton or Higgins. But if you want to play it safe, Hampton is your guy. It's very difficult to get away from the work he's been seeing. And now without Quinn Williams for Dallas, it should be actually able to really run the ball. But Hampton's also on a split workload. So your ceiling is very much capped with Hampton. So Tony, need 2. Myers, Evans, Jennings, Igbuka. I'm going to go Evans and Jennings. Michael Gabriel. So on one of my teams, I have Wilson, and one of them has to come out. Which one would I bench? Of these, I'm most likely going to bench Wilson. Just because, again, MHA is probably playing. I don't know how much that's going to affect him, and so I'd rather just go with the 2 I know they're seeing a lot of volume. Josh Conrad, Hampton or Carter? Hampton. Daniel Ferguson, RJ Harvey, Jawan Jennings. That's close. I think Jennings is your safe play, so I'm probably rolling that out with just the general workload that he should have. But it's tough. Next person up would be, I'm pretty sure Harvey. Do I have Harvey or Williams higher? Just kidding. It would be Williams would be the next one up. So it's really close. Hasha, bench Genty and Wandale and play one. I would probably still go Genty and Wandale in PPR. Dowdle just doesn't see any passing work. That's really Chuba's role, so it makes it tough. I wanna happy to help. Um, I'm playing Purdy. Actually, no, correction. I'm playing May. You got to roll with May here. Unfortunately, I like the Purdy next, but it is close. Yeah, I'm still going to go with what I know. May's been playing very well, and then Purdy again is right there. Pips, it's been a minute. I know they keep doing pretty well. I had them as my defensive start last night, and I was really hoping they'd do a pick six, but no luck. Would you play Brees Hall over Cook? Etienne? No, I'm not playing Hall at all. Given the opportunity, his splits have been horrible. I can't trust him. I really wish I could, but at this point, you have to get away from Brees Hall. All right, Daniel Eberhardt. It's going to be London for me. Scott, Waddle, or Wandale? That's a good one. I think it's Waddle. I have to pull it up to double check. So I have Waddle at 18, and I have... So I have Waddle at 18 and Robinson at 19. So they're right there. This is a good question. That's what I thought. I have Waddle higher, but again, I completely understand if you want to stick with Robinson. You just really are capping your upside again. Issue for Robinson is his depth of target, the fact that it's going to be windy, it's a tough secondary, and so you're probably set for about 10 to 15, but anything higher than that is really just going to take a big day from him, and trusting that is really difficult with the Giants. All right, Daniel. Oh, I'm picking 2. Okay, then I'm sitting Tet. It's going to be Wilson and London for me. Arboron, Evans, Diggs, Higgins. It's Evans. Not messing with it. And then Burrow, May. It's May. Kenny, starting 1. MHJ, 80, estimate. It's going to be MHJ. Yeah, you're just going to roll them both out. Just safer. I mean, the number of times that Brissett is throwing, you have to keep rolling it out there. Hall or Dowdle? Dowdle. I wonder your nail. Same league. Same pick 2. Full PPR. It's Amon-Ra and Collins. Really good team. You can see why you're there. Of course, happy to help. Half PPR. So it's going to be Brissett. Then I'm going to flex Jennings. So makes it easy for me. Joseph. BTJ, Godwin, Etienne. I'm playing Etienne. He's the safest play of those options. Purdy or Herbert? I still have Purdy higher. Golly. Our Baron. Henderson or Judkins? Henderson. Royce, you made it. Given those options, I'm pretty sure it's Lawrence. I'm going to pull it up to double check. Yeah, I have Lawrence at 15. I have Baker lower. I have McCarthy lower. I have Young lower. And I have Shuck right next to him. So it goes Tyler and Shuck. Trevor and Chuck right next to each other. So if you want to play Chuck, I'm fine doing that. However, Trevor Lawrence should have to throw. This is a game that has a lot of potential, so much rather roll with it. Shazad, again, I think the Saints are safer, but I do think the Vikings have more upside because of the wind and all the other variables to get the turnover and likely get a score off of that turnover. So Daniel Eberhardt, picking 2. Myers, Wilson, Wandale. It's going to be Myers and Wandale. Barely. Yep. Again, Moore was a very high risk, high reward. So part of the reason I was half in, half out on him. Opportunity should be there, but took him all game to get it. Okay, Staker, I need 1. Yeah. In PPR, it's half. Golly, that makes it really close. I don't know. I still think I want to go DK with the return yards, especially against this Chiefs. It's close. Myers isn't, I'm so worried about drawing coverage. I actually think BTJ, because I don't think that they're going to be like, oh, he's the best player on their team. I think BTJ is definitely going to be who sees Sertan. So I like the idea of Waller being a safer play, but if you're chasing upside, I still think I go DK. Exclusive. Looking at defensive, Titans or Bengals. It's going to be the Titans for me. No problem, Brett. I get it. It scares me too, but every time he's seeing double-digit targets, which is really making a big day for him. Jesse Ramos, Higgins or Hampton. Really depends what we need. I lean Higgins because there's a lot more upside, but also a lot more risk. So if you want to play it safe, go Hampton. Allie, non-PPR, I need 2 running backs and a flex. It's going to be Henry, Marks. If I'm chasing upside, I'm probably going to go BTJ, but it's close with Harvey. BTFU, happy to help. Big trust. Pierce or Downs? Downs. Brought it up on Wednesday. I'm real big on Downs this week with the fact that it's Rivers. Still checking the ball. The last time they played together, Downs was his favorite target, and it showed up a little bit in the last game. This game he's actually going to have to throw, so I think Downs gets a pretty big boost up. RPSD, Judkins or Tracy still have, I think it's Tracy higher. It's half, so it makes it interesting. Still, actually, no. It actually goes to Judkins in half. So, going to go Judkins. Wander your nails. May or Goff. Still have May higher. Happy to help. Good luck. TF54. All right. It's all good. So, you're only picking one. I'm probably going to go London. I think he offers the most upside here. If you want to play it safe, the next guy would be Etienne. All right, Michael. Burrow or Stroud? I'm playing it safe and going Stroud because I think the matchup's really easy. But if you want to chase the upside, it's definitely with Burrow. A lot of good options. Should have to throw, but how he's been playing lately really just has me so iffy on it. Sitting Tracy, Ladd, Estimate, and Carter. That's fine. Tracy is so my cut line is definitely between Estimate and Carter. I like the idea of Tracy and Ladd, but there's so many question marks around it. Tracy's really close to being a starter for you, but you have so many good players, it's tough. Mike, you made it. Pick 2. Higgins, Sutton, Waddle, Apuka, Diggs. Oh, I hate you. It's probably going to be Waddle and Higgins. If you want to play a little safer and go Sutton over Higgins, I get that. But I think the options are too good with Waddle and Higgins. Opportunities are too big. So, and then pick 2, Warren or Kincaid. Oh, Warren or Kincaid. There I go, Warren. So, good luck. Happy to help. Tony, Dowdle, Judkins, Hampton, Igbuka. I have Judkins the highest as a safe play. If you want more upside, it's Igbuka, but I don't love it. Riz, happy to help. Need a wide receiver and a flex. So I'm picking 2 here. Okay. I would probably go Igbuka and Coker. Yeah, I think they give you the most upside there with a safe floor. Also, would you roll Kincaid at tight end? I'd much rather go with Waller just because of how Kincaid's kind of taking a back seat. It's clearly due to some of it being his injury, but Knox has also come on really strong, so it's hard to get away from somebody who's playing that well. So, Trey, what's up? All right, let's see it. Starting 2, Judkins, Hampton, Tracy, Jones, Carter. So I'm going to go Judkins and Tracy with the next guy being Jones. Opportunity should be there for Jones. This is a good matchup for him, but how well they've been playing, I'd much rather do Judkins and Tracy. Allie, is it going to be Lutz or Borgalis? It's Borgalis by quite a bit, actually. I don't even see. Oh, yeah. Lutz is a ways down there. So, or Lutz, sorry. Polo, what's up? Good morning. If Drake let him play, should I play Pitts considering I have Fannin or Coker? So, with him looking like he's going to play, I have moved Fannin ahead of Pitts. So, I still have Pitts at 11, but it has dropped significantly. So Fannin has moved up to 6. If you want more upside, I'm fine rolling Coker. But again, it's a risk reward. It's just how it is. Jones or Audric Esme. I still have Jones higher because, again, I'm not sure of who the running back is going to be. I like the idea of Esme if he gets the full job, but trusting that is just so difficult. All right. Okay, State grad. Can I trust Buffalo? I have Buffalo higher, but again, trust is real if you were to use. I think I'm going to just because I'm not sold that the Browns are really good offense. So I just think they give you enough coverage. I also get you want to play the Broncos. However, the Jags have really looked like they've been coming on, and I just feel like there's so much more risk. I do only have them separated by a handful of spots, though, so makes it close. Happy holidays, Nibs. I want to do your nails. Okay, picking 2. It's definitely going to be... That's not a question. It's Achane and Cook for me. Makes it super easy. Guys are playing so well. Think Achane still has the upside. Can't get away from it, unfortunately. Oh, well, Saints or Chiefs. It's going to be Saints. So, I think we're in the same boat, right? Because Saints play... Where did my Saints team go? Oh, there they are. Yeah. Saints play Cook. So, I'm also a little nervous about the Chiefs. Again, we talked about it on Wednesday, but the fact that this is a team that is now out of the playoffs for the first time in a while, do they just allow them to score? At the same point, Titans are trying to get their team moving, and they've been playing well. It makes me very nervous. So I'd much rather go with the Saints because I do have them slightly safer. Nibs, pick 3, full PPR. Okay, it's definitely going to be Evans. Definitely going to be Jennings and Waddle. Makes it easy. J Dabber, 6 points passing. It's very hard to get away from Nix. I think it's a lot safer. So, I don't love it. I have him at 13, and I have Herbert at 17. Mostly because I'm struggling to trust Herbert with any old lack of an O-line has been brutal. But this is a game that should get him right. However, Nix is also in a game that should be more competitive. So I'm willing to play Nix in this situation. Polo, yeah, I'm sorry. If they would have just sat him, Wilson would have been a great play. I mean, Wilson still ended up being a better play, but the risk was just so high that playing him just didn't make any sense. All right, sorry. I'm going to pull up and see if there's any new news. Doesn't look like it. All right. Next, Allie. 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. So I'm picking 6. Okay. With that in mind, it's going to be Cook, Henry, Henderson, Evans, Jennings, Sutton. Golly, that was tough. Oh, you guys are making these ones tough on me. All right. Next. J Dabber, PPR, Jefferson Myers. I'm going to trust Myers more. This is an ideal situation for Jefferson, but with how he's been playing and how JD's been doing, I can't bring myself to do it. All right. Daniel, Dowdle, Chet, Tracy. Really depends what I need. I think Tracy is a safe play. However, Tet has more upside opportunity. I hate the matchup for Tet a little more, especially with how he's been being used lately. Coker's kind of seen the uptake while Tet's been going downhill just a smidge, seeing a little bit tougher coverage. So think I'd rather roll Tracy to be safe. RPSD, Tracy Jones, that's still going to be Tracy. Roy's picking 2. Higgins, Sutton, Robinson. It's going to be Higgins and Sutton. If you want to play it a little safer, you can go Sutton and Robinson, but it's still... Oh, are you kidding me? He's now out? Why hasn't that come across? I was just looking. I'm still not seeing him as out yet. So, once I get that for sure, I'll gladly let you know. Merry Christmas, and you're welcome. Happy to help. I would then go, if he is out, I'd go Jordan to be safe. Otherwise, the next person up would be Coker. Braden, Dak or Bo Nix? I have Dak slightly higher, like back-to-back with him. So, B-back, who has more upside, over 300 passing yards. That's probably going to be Goff, but he really has to be challenged. I have Brissett still higher, but 300 is a pretty big number to hit. You're really hoping that Cousins can bring that. Maybe with London, the opportunity will be there. I still have Brissett higher, but it's him and Goff back to back. So really a coin flip between those two. All right, Royce. Yeah. So at that point, you're chasing the upside. I'm going to go Sutton and Higgins. Yes, they do. Luckily, I looked at the weather this week. There is supposed to be rain, but it's luckily at a dome. There's some slight chance of snow for the Lions-Steelers game, but that game is just iffy. It's also in a dome again, so it's more of a pain for everybody else. There's supposed to be some rain at the Dolphins game and the Saints-Jets game, which, again, opportunity should be there, but these are also teams that should be kind of used to that. I guess Jets may not be, but it is in New Orleans. Saints are probably pretty used to it. But again, you're looking at a dome. It's more frustrating for the fans. The Miami game, again, it's Cincinnati and Miami. I'm not too worried about it. The things that take more into effect are, like, for example, the Vikings and Giants game do have some wind. That does make me a little more nervous about the quarterback play. That's also why I was super nervous about the Seahawks and Rams game. But outside of that, everything else looks like it's a pretty good setup moving forward. So, yes, I do. I still trust Purdy a little more. It's a lot safer. And then I'm picking 2 wide receivers. It's going to be Olave and McConkey. I have Diggs and McConkey really close. So if you want to play Diggs, you're more than welcome to do it. Intelligent. The opportunity should be there, but it's how much you're willing to trust. I want to say Gardner Minshew. And to me, trusting it is so risky. This is a team that doesn't have a whole lot to play for, so I'm really nervous about it anyway. And so I'd much rather just play a handful of other players. This is very much a dark horse streaming option. However, on that same boat, you could also put Downs. You could put Adonai Mitchell. You could put trying to think of what other players I moved up quite a bit as potential streamers this week. Dobbs was in that area for me, who did pretty well. I also have Booty. Naylor is another one. Based on matchup, he has a great potential for a big game, but trusting it is so difficult because JJ's been really hit or miss on who he's been using. Shuck or Rogers? It's going to be Shuck. Don't really. I hate you, Mike. It's Judkins. I can't bring myself to play Hall. I wish I could, but it's so risky. Good luck, man. Appreciate it. Ryan, Woody Marks switched. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe like I said, until I get the notice, I haven't seen anything on it yet. So that's brutal. Anthony, Etienne or Dowdle? I'm still going to trust Etienne. Tampa is actually really bad against pass-catching backs, so while I like Dowdle, the fact that they use him more between the tackles makes Chuba the one that I'd prefer to start of the two. Jorge, do I do London or Evans? I have London higher maybe I don't. Correction, I have them back-to-back. I have Evans one spot higher than London, so this is a good question. It's, again, just trusting Evans a little more in how well he's been used. Trader Joe, am I going Gainwell or Carter? It's going to be Gainwell. Metal Nate, estimate Pickens or Gadsden. Golly. The upside is definitely Pickens. It's just so hard to get away from him. This is a great matchup. Chargers play a lot of cover 4, which really benefits Pickens. However, There's a lot of risk involved because Pickens has so much that is going against him with his play recently and him kind of suggesting that being a squeaky wheel should benefit. However, do you trust it? How well the Chargers have been playing? There's a lot of things that bother me with this matchup. So if you want to go Esme and play it safe, completely understand you want to do that. So Christian, Wandale, or Waddle? Waddle for me. Trader Joe, picking 3. It's definitely going to be, I think I'm going to go Gainwell, Harvey, and Brown. Let me double check. I'm not sure if it's Brown or Hampton. Gainwell, Harvey, and... Well, where the heck did I put Brown? Is Brown ahead of it? Yeah, Brown's ahead of it. Yep, so it's going to be Brown. Those would be my 3. Jorge, Purdy, or Dak. I'm still trusting Purdy. Good matchup, really safe play. Chris, Morega, RB2, and a flex. Esme, Mason, Pitts, Diggs. Man. You're probably playing Esme, and then if you're chasing upside, it's probably Diggs, but it's tough to get away from Pitts with how well he's been playing. Even with London back, he's a little bit safer, but that and just how inconsistent the play has been for Diggs with his usage. It's been very steady, but trusting it is so difficult. I have Diggs as a just outside a wide receiver 2, while I have Pitts as a, granted, doesn't mean a whole lot, a tight end 1. So looking at my flex, I'm not sure who will be higher. Pitts is 79 and Diggs. Yeah, I have Pitts right ahead of Dowdle at 61. And Diggs is at 64, so they're really close. Deco or Rico? Golly, DK or Rico? Jeez, if I could read. It's DK for me. Giovanni Ibarra, Michael Carter, or Javonte Williams? Javonte Williams. Really like how he's been being used. Nightmare, MHJ, Franklin, Parker Washington. You still have to unfortunately go MHJ. Franklin, Bryant's back. I didn't like how he's being used. This is a game that is going to be frustrating. There it is. Marks is expected to be active. They say Chubb. I'm not really trusting a whole lot of that. So with him out now, I'll take him out of my rankings and readjust real quick. So Marks was at 13. This moves Chubb into a flex at best because I'd put him next to Carter. I'm still trusting him above Hall. Tells you how low I have Hall. And then I'm moving Jordan way up because I think they want to see what they actually have in him. And I'm actually going to make Jordan my running back 15. Moved him quite a bit up, guys. So, Brent Johnston, Tracy, Igbuka, Fan, and Estimate. Really depends what you need. I think Tracy's your safe play. Igbuka offers the most upside. Trader Joe. All right. Warren, it's Gainwell. Yeah. I know. Tell me about it. I kept thinking he was just going to give you an upside, but it just didn't happen. Yeah, I saw that. Abrahams, trust in Hall or swap Franklin or Estimate? I'd go Estimate to play it safe. I'm really, again, Hall's in a messy backfield, but at least Estimate has a shot at being the RB1 for his team. Hall, I think they're more or less just seeing what else they have in the other players, and so makes it very tough for me to trust. Allie, need one. Sutton or Bucky? It is, golly, give me back to my flexes. I have Sutton at 56 and Irving at, whoops, if I could spell, Irving at 49. So it's really close. Is this PPR or standard? If it's PPR, I'm going Sutton. If it's standard, I'd go Bucky. Feshin Johnson. All right. Would you play Tyrone Tracy over Juwan Jennings? Half PPR. No. I would half PPR. I mean, Tracy's probably close. Let me adjust it and let me see. So I switched rankings to half. Tracy and Jennings. I have Jennings 10 spots higher than Tracy in half. And then Rico, Tet, or Michael Carter. I'm going to go Tet and... Oh, is that Dowdle then? I think it then goes to Dowdle, but I'm not sure where... Yeah, then it goes to Dowdle barely. Again, because I trust Carter. I would trust Carter to the moon if DeMarcado was out. But with him active, it just makes me so iffy on it. I do have him back-to-back, if that means anything. All right. D-Man, Igbuka, or Juwan Jordan. Again, if this is Dynasty, you're sticking with Igbuka. If it's redraft and you need a running back play, I think Jordan's a lot safer. However, Igbuka is seeing a lot easier coverage now with Evans back. So the opportunities are going to be there. There's a lot of more potential upside. So really dependent, again, it's really dependent on where you're at. If you faced the massive stacks, I've seen people who have played JSN and Puka are playing against those two. So if you're in that point, I'd go with Puka. So really it's dependent on what you guys kind of need here. So you give me that in the scoring format, it definitely helps. So here I'm leaning Igbuka because I think there's more upside. Chivalry. Oh my gosh, Chivalry. Golly, I'm all over the place today. Michael Wilson, Justin Jefferson. It's Wilson. I don't have Judkins, or I don't have Chubb over Judkins. I still have Jawar over Judkins, but Chubb just becomes a flex to me. Chad Dillon, Jawar, Sutton, Genty. I'd go Jordan to be safe. Sutton if you're chasing upside. Zayoli, Half, Warren, Pollard, Carter, Olave, Evans. One running back and one flex. Running back, I'm going to go Pollard, and then I'm playing Evans. Nightmare, it's Jordan. Brent Johnson, McMillan, or Buka. Still going to go Buka. I get that. But my thing is at this point, I'll double check. I'm pretty sure Jacoby Brissett has yet to throw less than 40 times. And with that in mind, it's difficult for me to get away from him. That's just showing yardage. I was hoping it'd give me straight up stats immediately. Yeah, so this year he has thrown less than 40 times twice against the Packers and Cowboys. Meanwhile, Bryce Young has been at, oh my gosh, it's so slow today. I have too many things running. There it is. Bryce Young has probably, I'd guess, averaged 30. So this year, Bryce Young has averaged, oh my gosh. Looks like his average is about 28. So it's 12 fewer times, which is quite a bit less. His big games being 45 and 55 times. And those games were against Atlanta and Arizona. Not an ideal situation. So, completely understand why you're doing it, though. Jordan or Tracy? Jordan. Trusting it a little more. I like Tracy. He gives you upside, but with this being the Raiders team, I think they want to see what they have in Jordan. I don't think I would go that far. I still think I would go Igbuka. I don't know why you're messing with your lineup. At this point, there's no reason to be messing with the lineups. Yes, I know this. I've adjusted it. It's already in my stats. I moved him to Jawar Jordan to 13 and or 15, and the running and Chubb to 33. So he becomes a flex at best. However, I don't think he offers the upside that Igbuka does. So if you want to play it safe, Jordan comes over Jones. Igbuka has more upside. So it really is dependent on what you guys need here. Peter, sup? Carter or Genty? I'm still going to go Genty. RPSD with MHA being back, I'm now a little more worried about Wilson. Williams has jumped ahead of him by 3 spots. D-Man, redraft, lose by 5. Oh my gosh. If you're down, I have to go with the upside of Ibuka. It would really be more dependent on your entire team, so it's iffy. But go Ibuka, and then because again, they say Chubb is the one to go. I don't believe that. I think it's going to be Jordan, just based on what I've seen. However, if you're looking for more upside, which I think you kind of are, this week Evans is back full. Ibuka should get easier coverage. It's a good matchup for him, and you're really hoping they put pressure on. So, and then Dak or Lamar, I'm going to go Jackson there. Allie, McConkey, or Sutton, again, depends what you need. Sutton's a lot safer, but McConkey has more upside. This should be a game that he has a lot of success, but trusting it is difficult. I'd rather go with the thing I know. Dance with the one who brought you, right? Even if it was ugly. J-Bone, Dak, or Burrow. Oy. I wish I could trust Burrow. That's the only issue, man, is that Burrow's just been so brutal the past couple weeks, and it's all in his head. And then Dak, it's a tougher matchup. I still have Burrow ranked higher, so I'm going to go Burrow, but it is close. Trusting it is very difficult. Trader Joe, Genty, Estimate, Jawar. I have Jordan the highest now. However, the next one would be Genty if you want to use it. Jawar, Jordan, or Vidal in PPR. PPR makes it interesting. However, I still think that the Texans are going to want to see what they have in Jordan, and this is a great matchup for that situation. I like Vidal. I think he will see a decent amount of work, but I just don't think the upside's nearly as there as it should be. I wish that I could try. I wish the Chargers had their tackles back because I feel like this would be a great game for everybody, and you'd be back to wanting to play any player. But fortunately, it's not there. Smeet Slapper, Gainwell, or Marv. Depends what we need. I think Gainwell is so much safer, but MHA, we've seen when he is back there, Brissett targets him, and it's a lot of upside. So Gainwell is definitely the safe play. Really depends on your team, where you're at. BP, Ferguson or Hawk, it's going to be Ferguson for me. Chargers are really bad against the tight end because they have Derwin James come up, and it's cover 4, so it leaves open spots all over the place. I wonder your nails, Fannin, Pitts, or Warren. It's going to be Fannin now that London's back. Glitchy, Carter, Jordan, or Chubb. That's going to be Jordan. I'm not trusting any of the other things, unfortunately. I like the idea of Carter, but again, you're dealing with DeMarcado, which makes me iffy, and then Chubb, it's him or Jordan. And while I believe in Nick Chubb, I think this is a better chance for them to see what they have in Jordan. They're pretty sure, I'm guessing that they get up and they're going to be able to run a lot, so it makes it a little easier. Yes, I still have, I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure I have May as my quarterback 1 this week and Allen's 2. Yeah, I have him as 1 and 2, so I don't think you go wrong with this. Really, it's dependent on what you need. So, makes it interesting for sure. Burrow, Lamar, that's going to be Jackson. Wilson or Jacoby in standard? Oh, my gosh. So you're just going based on yards and touchdowns? I think at that point I'd go with Myers. Then Carter or Montgomery. There I'm going to go Carter. So this isn't crazy at all. I'm fine doing this. However, in any kind of PPR, I trust Genty a little more. It really comes down to the fact that you're looking at a player who has a lot of opportunity. It's a tough matchup for him. The same is said for Dowdle. The only difference between these two players is that Genty gets all of the work. And so that's the only reason I lean Genty based on that. Dowdle, I hate the matchup. However, they've been using him slightly more in the passing game, but it doesn't mean a whole lot, unfortunately, because Chuba's been the one who's really used it. And so there's so much involved there that makes me scared of it. All right, Trader Joe. Yeah. Hampton or Jawar? It's Jawar. Trusting a little more. If you want to play it safe, completely understand you want to do Hampton, but so risky. Mayor Brissett. It's going to be May, but I'm completely fine if you want to roll Brissett because I have them, like I said, separated by 4 or 5 spots. It's not significant enough for me to get away from it. All right, then Diggs or Wilson. It's going to be. I still have Wilson higher because I still trust it a little more. Oh, Lamar, Brissett. I have Lamar higher because of more upside potential. However, if you want to play Brissett, again, these are great options. I'm not thinking that either of these kill you. Like, I would expect both these players to see 20-plus fantasy points this week. I have Drake London. Would you go Pitt or Fannin? Because of London being back, I have dropped Pitts down, so I'd roll Fannin. However, I'm fine if you want to keep that stack up and roll with it. This is a game that could go back and forth very easily. Bryce, Quentin Johnson, or David Montgomery? Ugh. Did they say Quentin's playing? I thought Quentin was out or inactive. So. Oh, they do have him as questionable. At that point, if it's PPR, I go QJ. Otherwise, I'm probably sticking with David Montgomery. It has to be some kind of PPR for me to go QJ. Broly, 619, love it. London or Evans? It's Evans for me. Wandale and PPR, right? Gotta trust Wandale. It's pretty safe. He's getting you close to 10 fantasy points. So. Yeah, there's a lot of people with Qs that I have way down here. So, surprised. I moved Higgins up quite a bit. I struggle to trust it. Realistically, the best player should be McConkey this week, but the way they've been using him out as a screen player to try and get him in space for QJ has been interesting, especially now. I guess the other issue is Trey Harris, I think, was also questionable. So if they're still... Oh, I'm looking at running backs. Like, no wonder. I'm like, Trey Harris is another one that's interesting because they've been using him all over in different facets, and so it makes it an interesting play. But again, if you're looking at something like that, I'd much rather go with somebody like Naylor. Jalen Naylor has a really good matchup on paper and has been being used more consistently and has more potential upside than what I would say QJ does. So, good to know. All right. RPSD, Etienne or Gainwell? Etienne has more upside, especially with everybody else out. If you want to play Gainwell, I don't fault you. Again, I'm really high on Gainwell. I have been for the past month, higher than everybody else. However, I still have Etienne as my running back 7. So it's really close. All right. We made it through. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. This is going to be the last week of shows. So next week is it. That's all you're going to get. I'm wishing you the best of luck and hoping for everybody to win their matchups, get that set and ready to go. Golly, that's so frustrating to see that. But again, it's... Oh, get another one. Setmo, getting it in just in time. Jawar Strange. I'm going to play it safe and go Jawar here. Ty Johnson, Esme Hole, or Keon Mitchell. Yeah, I don't like any of those more. Esme would be close. Yep, I am, unfortunately, leaning Genty just because the opportunities are there. You got to roll with what you know. I liked Dowdle when he was getting all of the work. However, that has significantly changed. It makes it very iffy. All right. Sorry. Had to double check. But everything else looks good, guys. I think you're all set. Good luck. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas. I will be back tomorrow doing the waiver wire show. And then, reminder, our long show is going to be on Tuesday and not Wednesday this week. Tuesday at 8, not Wednesday at 8. So definitely keep that in mind. And I will be here. We'll go through all the long-form content like we normally do. I'll answer all your questions, do our start sets of the week, all that good stuff. It's just there's so many games between then and Sunday that it just doesn't make any sense to do it any other time. So still going to be available. Make sure you're part of the Discord. Those always get answered first before I go to Bleacher Nation. So keep that in mind. Remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense and have a good week 16. Good luck to everybody.